Hello and welcome to BBC World News. Britain, the US and Australia have launched a new defence and security partnership with plans to develop a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines for the Australian Navy. Boris Johnson says the project will be crucial in the protection of the Allies' shared interests in the Indo-Pacific region, as our defence correspondent Jonathan Beale reports.
Britain's decision to send its aircraft carrier HMS Queen Elizabeth and other warships to the Pacific is proof of the growing strategic importance of the region. The UK, US and Australia are all increasingly concerned about a more assertive China. Hence the decision to step up their military cooperation, and important enough for the leaders of all three countries to announce this new defence partnership, AUKUS for short.
Today we're taking another historic step to deepen and formalize cooperation among all three of our nations, because we all recognize the imperative of ensuring peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific over the long term. We need to be able to address both the current strategic environment in the region and how it may evolve, because the future of each of our nations, and indeed the world, depends on a free and open Indo-Pacific enduring and flourishing in the decades ahead.
As a start, Britain and America will help Australia build a new fleet of nuclear-powered, but not nuclear-armed, submarines. Australia had originally asked France to help modernise its submarines, but that deal's now dead. It's not yet clear how the work will be shared, but Britain hopes it'll boost its defence industry. BAE Systems already builds the Royal Navy's submarines, and Rolls-Royce the nuclear reactors. Though British officials insist this defence partnership is not a response to any one country, but about stability and security in the Indo-Pacific, it will not be welcomed by China. Jonathan Beale, BBC News.
Well, here's our Sydney correspondent, Shaima Khalil.
This is a huge deal for Australia and a big boost to its military capabilities. But it's also a significant step by the US and the UK and a clear message of how seriously they're taking the security and the stability of the Indo-Pacific and the positioning of Australia as a strategic ally and partner in this, making sure that Britain's and America's interests in the area are well defended. For the first time, Australia will be able to build nuclear-powered submarines, and all three leaders have reiterated that these are not nuclear-armed, but nuclear-propelled and powered submarines. In a separate press conference, the Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, said this is a new era with new challenges, and he described this announcement as a forever partnership to make sure that Australia's national security and that of partners in the region is well protected.
It is the single largest step we have been able to take to advance our defence capabilities in this country, not just at this point, but for the future. It has been some time in the making, it is true to say. These types of forever partnerships don't happen overnight.
Now, the optics of this announcement were just as important as the announcement itself. The fact that all three leaders, Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, and Scott Morrison, appeared together via video conference, sent a strong message about the alliance. And even though officials have said that this is not a response to any particular country, there is very little doubt that at the heart of this, of course, is China, and that this wouldn't be happening if there hadn't been concerns about China's growing influence and military presence in the region. So for the US and the UK, a nuclear-powered submarine Australian fleet is a key asset in the area. Now remember the other dynamic to all of this, the growing tensions between Canberra and Beijing that have seen China impose a number of trade sanctions on Australia. Now, as the global rivalry between the US and China sharpens, and as Australia's alliance with the US grows stronger, you can expect that the relationship will worsen between Australia and its key trade partner, China.
Shaima Khalil in Sydney. Let's get more on China. China's reaction to all this. Stephen McDonnell is in Beijing. And Stephen, the three leaders didn't mention China by name during this announcement at all. But how much is China at the centre of all this?
Well, in about an hour, We'll hear just how much China thinks it's at the centre of this, because the regular Foreign Ministry press briefing will take place. There's already been a statement from the Chinese embassy in the United States describing this as a Cold War mentality. I think for sure we're going to hear some strong language coming out of that press briefing reflecting Beijing's response to this new pact, the decision by Australia to not only build nuclear-powered submarines but also purchase Tomahawk cruise missiles. It's pretty clear that this is a sort of counterweight, or a proposed counterweight, to the growing military power of China. And it just shows how much China's relations with other key countries have collapsed in recent times. You know, in a way, Australia is kind of the poster boy for the failure of China's soft power, I suppose, if you could put it that way. I mean, it seems like yesterday that Xi Jinping was in Australia going to the football, wearing a scarf, you know, out to Uluru to see Aboriginal cave paintings and the like. Now you have Australia saying it's going to build nuclear-powered submarines. I mean, it is just in such a quick time, such an enormous collapse in that relationship. Australian and Chinese ministers, for example, have hardly spoken to one another in the last year. And you'd have to think that many people now would be worried about a regional arms race now that this decision has been made by Australia to really up its military capabilities.
Stephen, for the moment, thank you very much. Stephen.